All right, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Q&A with Alan and Marshall. I'm Marshall Atkinson.
Alan Howe with Easy Way.
And happy Friday, everyone. I don't know about you, Alan, but it has been a whirlwind week. I can't even believe it's Friday. It's like, snap my fingers, here we are.
It has been a whirlwind couple of weeks, Marshall. When I think about that, we have just been to Irving, Texas. I mean, I've been all over. Last week we were in Atlantic City, you and I together. And like, I didn't fly out till Thursday, but I had to be in Cleveland, Ohio, Monday and Tuesday, came back, had one day and then flying out and came back Saturday night. It has just been nonstop, but a good nonstop.
Yeah. And we're going to get into some things later with the trade shows and stuff, but everybody I've been talking to is like insanely busy, right? And things are really happening for some folks, and it's really good to see. Frankly, I love it, right? I love it when everybody's all jazzed up and their problems they're solving is the fact that they're overloaded. That's like a really great problem to have.
It is a good problem. It accentuates two other problems, which, we know of supply chain and stuff like that. But those have actually, I think, calmed down a little bit. We don't know for how long, or we've just learned to manage them. Yeah. Which, as much as we're creatures of, we're just talking about, so we're lazy humans, we do learn to manage things when we have to.
Right. Wow. It looks like we're going to get a really good crowd here. Everybody's saying hello. So let's give some folks a shout out. So Charles is here from, couldn't click the button. Charles is here from New Mexico. Good morning, Charles. Good to see you. Happy Friday to everyone. Cindy's watching as usual. YouTube. Good morning.
Good morning. Yep.
I like the fact that she threw a y'all in there. I'm from the South. I use that word.
Mom and grandma being from Alabama, y'all was just is that a verb or a noun? Yes.
Yeah. Yes. And, Ray's here. Good morning.
How you doing, Ray?
Good morning, Screenlings.
And Ray, I owe you a phone call. You've left a message for me and I didn't. I'm sorry about that.
And I know you're such a slacker.
I'm horrible.
Brian's here. Good morning, Brian.
Good morning, Brian.
Frank's here. Good morning, gentlemen. Enjoying all the videos on Shirt Lab Tribe Summit right now. That's great, Frank. We're gonna be talking about that here in a minute. So good to see that. Ray's here. Good morning. Good. Really great seeing you, Ray, in Atlantic City.
I was just going to say that it was awesome just hanging out with them and talking about the industry of some good stuff. And some stuff we'll probably talk about today.
Yeah. Hurley says, good morning, everyone. Hope you had a great week.
Yep.
John McGee's here. Good morning,
All right.
John.
Well, we got the heavy hitters in there.
Yeah. Nice seeing the show finally. Yeah, exactly.
All in questions. I'm passing them off.
Justin's here. Good morning, Justin.
Big heavy hitters. Good job. How you doing, Justin?
Rob's got some German going on today. Guten Tag.
Rob, it was so good hanging out with you too. I was just telling Marshall, it was so good to see you. It's been a few years just from there with you and Dan and the NASDAQ crew. So
right. Good to see. I wish I had spent more time with Rob. I was busy mingling with other people.
Yep. And I just go to people I know. So.
And Mike's here. Dropped off the Shirt Lab recording to see you guys. Thanks, Mike.
Hey, thank you, Michael.
And let's see. Things are coming in quick. Don't worry, Alan. I'll just bill you.
Good. Yeah. Make sure that's a net 90, please.
Pete and Val from Port Huron, Michigan.
All right. Pete, how you doing, Pete?
Mario's here. Good afternoon,
all right,
guys.
From Europe. Mario, you tell us you're safe and everything. You're doing well.
Charles says everyone needs to hit up Shirt Lab Summit today. Great information.
Good.
I'm not answering any ink questions. April Fools. Right. All right. Well, cool. So I say we play a commercial and then get into it. What do you think?
Let's do that.
All right. Let me find the button here. You know, supposedly there's a new commercial coming.
I've heard rumor. I haven't seen it, so we need to.
We haven't gotten it yet.
Yeah. Well, you and I haven't had a lot of time, man. Do we have a great show coming up in a couple months? If we
do we want to talk about that?
No, not yet until it's confirmed. Oh my God.
Oh, it is confirmed. You know,
yeah, but we got to get the date set so everybody is unfreaking real, because I don't want somebody else scooping this up. Okay. I don't know how we did it.
Once everything is really set in stone, we'll talk. But
oh my gosh, how incredible.
It's going to be a coup, I think.
Oh, yeah. I can't believe we got it. Man, GSG gave their blessing on it, and it's going to be fun.
All right. So let's quit teasing people. Richard's here. Hello. Good morning.
You know what, Richard? I got an early morning text from Richard. We had a little tragedy here in our industry. Flying Colors caught on fire last night, and it's a total loss. So, let's keep, well, there was a fire. I don't know. It was late last night. I read the article. Let's keep all those in our thoughts and all that, all the people there. They did glassware, they did textile. So yeah.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. So if we can help out, let's figure that out.
Yeah, thank goodness nobody was hurt as far as I know. So yeah.
You know, probably, what is it, like 1 or 2 shops a year burned down because they left the flash units on when they went to lunch.
Yep. Well, this is the second one in Metro Detroit. Skyline did earlier. Yeah, total loss. And, you know, Flying Colors was interesting because not only did they have like 3 autos, textile automatics, they also did a lot of drinkware of UV printing. And
they got into doing hand sanitizers too.
They did during the pandemic. They really did. So, yeah, this is, not good, tragic. So.
Yeah, so Kisa's here. Good morning, Kisa.
Good morning,
from
Kisa.
Texas. Marcia's doing well. Stay safe. Thanks.
Mario, tell everybody. Let us tell everybody where you're from again and why I asked that. And I'd love to know how your business has been affected with everything going on in the world, supply chain stuff like that. If you could.
Yeah. David Eggers is here. Konnichiwa,
which is Japanese. Dave.
Yeah, konnichiwa. Everybody's going to throw out the foreign words today, right?
Magada Numaga, that would be Filipino for good morning.
Yeah. Rob says nobody likes to tease.
Yeah. Well, we just did. Sorry.
Yeah, Richard Greaves says nobody was in the building. Good.
Good. Yes.
All right. So let's not bury the lead. Let's talk about Shirt Lab Summit. So if you haven't been, I highly encourage you to go to shirtlabsummit.com and get registered. So this is a free virtual event. We've actually been working on this, believe it or not, since November. So, you know, it's one of these things where we've crossed the finish line. And let me tell you, it's like, it's one of those feelings. So what we're doing, we've interviewed 32 people, right? So these are interview style. And these are experts in all different areas, and it's sales, it's marketing, it's some operations stuff, it's screen printing, it's embroidery, transfers. There's all types of stuff in there, and there's some names that you probably know, and there's probably some that you've never heard of, and maybe those are the people you watch first. So if you go register. And how it works is, let me show the graphic here. We've got what happened? Day 1, let me take this off. Day 1, these 16 awesome people are sharing their thoughts about whatever badassery they do, right? So today it's Bruce Ackerman and Ali Banholzer and Kevin Bumgard and Jay Bassell. And I'm going to read everybody, but there's really lots of fantastic people talking about what they do best and everything. This is day 1, 16 people. Tomorrow, there's another whole round of 16 different people.
Yep.
Okay. You can watch these. These are just video interviews. Tom and I split them in half. So half feature me asking questions. The other half feature Tom asking questions. And then what we're doing is it's all about these people's expertise about whatever they're famous for, right? And they're sharing what they do and what they know and the tips and the tricks and how to do stuff. It's just fantastic. I was watching some of these videos earlier this week because I had to do some things. And I was just sitting there smiling, just giddy with glee, watching this stuff. It was like, how did we pull this off?
Right.
I don't even know. Right. So I know a couple of y'all have been watching. So if you've watched a couple of these videos, share what you like, share a tip or share the video that you were watched and that what you really liked. Okay. And I think it's just really great. And I have to also thank our sponsors, right? So GSG, who sponsors this show, is a sponsor of Shirt Lab. So, and we have a whole other slate of sponsors also, but it's like, we really need to thank these folks for helping us get this stuff done. This is a lot of work to pull this stuff off, and we're really happy of our product that we did this year. So Shirt Lab, let me show the thing again. Where is it?
You know, they're always quality. And Marshall, I've seen the stress just being friends with you and Tom. I don't know how you guys pull it off.
We don't know.
It is a ton of work. You guys have no idea. But I also know, talking to Tom and Marshall, how thankful they are for the sponsors and stuff, because none of that happens without them. I know.
Yeah, for our sponsors, for our speakers, Frank's here, SNS Activewear is one of our sponsors. And Frank was one of the folks that is in the interviews. And so we try to mix it up. We have a different slate of people than we did last year, but some of the people are the same from last year because they have new things they've been working on. Right. So it's like, we try to mix it up a little bit. And it's just a lot of fun. And so do yourself a favor and register for Shirt Lab Summit. It's 100% free. And how it works is today, the 16 videos are available all the way through, right? And then when tomorrow hits, they're going to go away. And then another 16 videos are going to be available. And if you want access to everything forever, plus we have notes and transcriptions and other things you can get, you can upgrade and you can get them, access forever, right? But it's 100% free right now to watch, and happy to get that going. And so,
and this is awesome.
Good looking bunch. Right?
And this is awesome because it is all about education. And, trade shows are coming back. We'll talk about that a little bit. But, man, this is such a great deal. Shirt Lab Tribe is so amazing. I'm glad to be a part of it. And, Marshall, I'm going to go out and say I get a lot of people that come to me at shows. I had a dealer who is, someone talking to me about being a sponsor for him. I had to throw him to you. So in case anybody's wondering, I don't own anything in Shirt Lab. I am not part of that. I get people, they think I do because of this, but that's Tom and Marshall. So if you come to me with a Shirt Lab question, I'm going to say, here's Marshall and Tom. Go.
It's easy to get confused.
It is. And Q&A is separate, and that's okay. But my only involvement has been, I've been asked to speak. I've done videos like that, and so proud to. Such a great organization. If you're a printer, if you're a decorator, you need to be part of it. You need to take a look at it.
And last year's, we had shops in 32 countries watch.
Oh, that's awesome.
So I'm sure it'll be the same. And, we just launched this morning, so I don't have any stats yet, but it's very intriguing to see everybody from all over the world looking and that kind of stuff. And I'm also going to give a shout out to my assistant, Lyra. I don't know if Lyra's watching, but she was really instrumental in doing a lot of the work for this. So I kept her really busy for the last couple months. So thanks, Lyra. You rock. So,
Lyra is down in Mindanao, Philippines. So yeah. She's amazing.
And, Mario says, answering your question, he's in Slovenia. Warzone is about 11 hours drive away, so no worries. Business is not in danger. We're printing overtime at the moment. So far, doing very well. Thanks for caring.
Absolutely. Thank you, Mario. And, for those of us that have not been there, and I keep wanting to say Slovakia only because I've been there, but I knew that wasn't right. Sometimes with the different countries as Americans, we are, I hate to say it, short-sighted. We look at our own country and we're not quite sure where all these countries are. But thank you so much. We are, our thoughts with everybody there in Europe and the world with everything that's going on conflict-wise.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, sometimes as Americans, if you haven't been to another country, you don't really realize much, right? And so you have to travel, right? And I'm not a world traveler. I've been to Mexico, I've been to Canada, I've been to Germany, and that's it. Bahamas, I don't know if that counts. British Virgin Islands, if that counts. Right?
I think
but I haven't been to a lot of these countries. I know some people have been to like a gazillion countries.
Yeah,
and I really appreciate, being an American and all that. But there's a lot of stuff that happens that we just don't really grasp because we're really focused on what we do here. And there's nothing wrong with that, but it's just, I like hearing different perspectives from people from other countries about how they're doing things and how they're seeing things. And especially when we're in the same industry,
absolutely.
Because you gain, I think, a broader sense of what's going on.
And I've had the pleasure of traveling all over the world, and Marshall, you're right. The Bahamas, if you're on a resort and you say Mexico, doesn't count. In my mind, if you're in a resort area, gated resort community, it doesn't count.
Well, I've been to Cancun, been to Mexico City, right?
Yeah. So I've been to, of course, Costa Rica. That was fishing, but it wasn't a resort. I've been to Australia. I've been to the Philippines multiple times. Supposed to go back later this year or in a few months. Mm-hmm. I have been to Slovakia, I've been to Austria, Italy, Portugal, and Canada to me doesn't really count just because it's next door to Detroit, and we used to go over there all the time. But when I went to British Columbia, Vancouver, and stuff, just amazing. Toronto's an amazing city. But yeah, we do need to as Americans to get out of our little comfort zone.
Right.
And the point of view when I was in Slovakia, that was during the conflicts in Kosovo, and I was talking to some people there, and their point of view was very different of things we would not even think about, and you realize what a baby country we still are of only 250 some odd years old. So
right.
If you get a chance, you got to go somewhere other than here.
Right. So, right. Maybe travel will be coming back soon.
I'm hoping so. It is. It's just a little bit. So
right. Yeah. And all right. So Peter's here. Good morning.
All right, Peter. How you doing?
Sean's here from Alpharetta. Good morning, Sean.
Yep.
And Rob says, Marshall, don't let Alan take away your countries.
I didn't. Resorts aren't countries. Did you see Mario's reply? Just north of Peter.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, missed that one. We're a 4-hour drive from Virus in Italy for map orientation. That's great.
What a great part of it. I was there when I was with a different company, not a Virus, but I was up in that area. What a gorgeous country. So, yeah.
Well, cool. All right. So, Shirt Lab Summit, get signed up. Highly encourage it. If you've watched some videos, we'd love for you to share your favorite or whatever, just so we get some comments about it. I think that would be great.
And I love that Shirt Lab Summit has people that are watching from all over the world. We've had people like Mario and, Ghost is missing. I hope he's all right. It's just here, our number one fan. But he's probably watching Summit is what he's doing.
Yeah.
But
by the way, people in Shirt Lab Tribe have been watching videos since Wednesday.
Oh, so that's right.
We give them early access.
Got it.
That's the benefit of being in the tribe group. So
the fact that it's an industry, the world is big, but the world is also small too, and we've made it that way. I'm looking forward when I go to Asia this year. I'm going to try to set up some stuff to see some shops and maybe get some video and stuff. For me, it's just continuing education. Just because it's done different doesn't mean it's wrong. And
what's going to be fun is doing our show with you in the Philippines. That's
especially with it's a 12-hour difference. So 12 noon Eastern is 12 midnight if I'm awake.
You're going to be awake.
Oh man. But if I can get internet access, it'll be interesting.
Yeah. All right. Hey, so let's switch to Atlantic City. I want to talk about that. Let me tell you, I thought, I went to the Atlantic City show last year, and I thought this year's show was a lot better than last year. Frankly, I
I
thought
did
there was
hear that.
more people, there were more vendors,
Mm-hmm.
there's more to see, and talked to lots of fun people and saw some folks. And I thought it was a really good show. I thought it was really engaging. I was happy to see M&R's new press, their rival.
Yep.
And that was really kind of cool to see. And it's good to see, companies like M&R making their presence known and flexing some muscles a little bit. And I thought that was really good. And so what was your take?
Same thing. For me, it was a little bit more personal. It was, I have not been to Atlantic City. I did not go last year. And of course, with the pandemic. So it's been about 3 years. I was shocked at how small it was comparable, but I did hear it was better attended than last year. I'm not sure as a vendor, as Easyway didn't have a booth, chose not to. I was there. I had a couple seminars, one with Marshall, one by myself. I don't know how the manufacturers, I'm hearing pluses, minuses, that traffic was okay. I'm not sure the ROI from a vendor standpoint. I think community-wise, anytime our industry gets together, there's a lot. I learned a lot. I love seeing the rival, Jimmy Orman, from M&R, gave me the whole go through. And, I love being on top of stuff like that. As I said earlier, it was so good hanging out with Rob and Dan from M&R, with Ray at the M&R function that they put on. Meeting Dylan Gilligan from the Shirt Show for the first time. I've met Andy before, but it's always good from that. And then just meeting new people. So it sounds a little redundant. I'm kind of up in the air on it. I think shows are different. I think shows are, I don't know. It's just a different world right now.
Well, to me, the people that are going to shows, right? There's a huge majority of people there's trade show junkies that are always go, right? Mm-hmm. And then the people I see going, they're people who haven't been to a show in a while.
Right.
And then there's all of these new companies that just started after COVID, right? Mm-hmm. And they're there looking for answers because they don't know anything yet, right? And that's a huge chunk of the people that I talked to where they're just getting started in the last year or 2 or 3, and they're looking for answers. Some of them, that was their first show, just like it was when I was in Long Beach, so I thought that was really kind of interesting. Mm-hmm. We talked to some folks that were there. They were looking for equipment. They were looking for shirts. They were looking for new suppliers, or seeing what's the latest and greatest of whatever. They're there, or to take some classes, right? We know Allie and Van Holzer and Marge Easterling. They brought their print crews just to take Charlie Tobley's class.
Yep.
So.
And it was real good having dinner with them Thursday night.
That was an awesome dinner.
So much fun. David Slagle was there. It was good catching up with everybody. But their new printer, there's a guy that gets it. And, he comes from the food service industry, but he's really, he said it's just now starting to click. And he was telling me he was making some correlations.
Tell the pizza analogy he gave.
Yeah, so he managed a bunch of pizza shops, about 3 of them at one time. And he said it finally clicked in Charlie's class. He's been running the automatic for about 6 months, where he was thinking, going, man, to me, the screen is like a pizza. He goes, the dough in a pizza is key. If your dough sucks, doesn't matter what kind of sauce you put on, what kind of ingredients, the pie is going to be subpar. And he goes, without a proper screen, man, I don't care what kind of ink gallon. He goes, what kind of press? He goes, I'm thinking that the screen is the most important. And I'm like, oh my God, where have you been all my life? And he couldn't be more right. Of course, we got talking about the correlations. I know Richard Greaves made the correlations between food and printing process. And So Richard, I did kind of channel my inner Richard Greaves and suggest you get the book Medium Raw by Anthony Bourdain. But yeah, it was just so, his name was Drew, if I remember right. And it was so cool meeting that. And you know what? That's the other thing, you know, as we're in the high points of our career, we've all talked about who comes behind us. You know, I never would have thought that guys like Joe Clark and stuff, I'm the ones coming up behind them. And there are some great people. The future is here. And then with Allie Banholzer and Marge, what great, forget just women in business, what great business people.
Right.
And Allie is speaking at Shirtless Summit always.
They're hilarious.
So much fun. And Marge, you put Marge in a room with anybody, and I'm putting money, Marge comes out alone. She's just brutal. She's awesome. And man, you know, Marge is someone that if you don't know her, you're going, what is up with her? Such an interesting life. And I will never forget, you know, I know her other businesses, what she did, but I will never forget being at Fort Worth. And Mark Kudran last year, Mark Kudran one side of me, Marge on the other, and Mark starts talking something about physics, which of course, you know, I'm all about on there. And he's talking about something. Marge jumps in and they start going, oh yeah, what did you think about this? And I look at Marge, she goes, oh yeah, I majored in physics. Are you kidding me? Yeah. Never did I ever feel like the stupidest guy in the room right then.
Yeah, right.
So
well, you always want to be in the room with smarter people than you. So.
Oh, yeah, but this was beyond smart.
Yeah.
It's like they could have been speaking a foreign language for all I knew. It was amazing. It was amazing.
We got some great comments. Let's throw them up here. So, one, Cindy's pissed that she's not the #1 fan.
In Texas, you are. I figure when Ghost is up at 2 a.m. just to watch us, that kind of trumps a little bit.
Yeah, and Ray says Atlantic City was his first show since Long Beach in 2020. It was great to talk to folks face to face that I've been online for the last 2 years.
Absolutely.
That's great. Rob says AC was leaps and bounds better than last year, but well below pre-COVID levels. And maybe Impressions could put carpet in the aisles to make it a bit more professional.
Yeah, we didn't even talk about that. Yeah.
Yeah, well, we'll save those comments for offline.
Yeah.
John says the reason it's called screen printing. Exactly.
It's about the screen. Screens are equipment. They are not consumables. Somebody said that. I don't know who.
Yeah, and Mr. Greenwood agrees. The screen is the key. The screen is the key to manipulating the ink. You can make mediocre ink print well with screens optimized.
Agreed.
Right. And Keith says, Allie and Marge, 2 of my best friends. Hey, Keith. How you doing, buddy?
How you doing, Mr. Burwell? Yeah.
And Cindy, good recovery.
I tried to, Cindy. So thank you. If you bought it, it's a great recovery, but I'm not sure you did.
I know. She gave you little kissy faces.
I appreciate it.
Kissy face emoji means she still likes you.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. Right. So I don't know. I think I see trade shows, you know, they're going to have to evolve. Right.
I agree.
And you know what they need to be doing is they need to be supporting the vendors a little better.
Yeah.
I think they need to have more classes and more reason to go. I think they also need to do some like more modern things, like, you know, let's do some live video. And when we're doing some things, can't we post that online and do some different things, you know? I just think that we're in a stagnant kind of rut with stuff. And
I agree.
You know, and also I really highly encourage them to look at different locations. Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Atlantic City is great, but you know what? That's like the worst place you can go because there's no direct way to get there.
And it's just beautiful. No, it's not.
Well, I liken that city to like a really old, worn down shoe that people still wear.
You know what? It was a place you knew in the 50s and 60s. It was amazing.
Used to be great, but you know, it's crumbling, you know, and
it is.
I don't know. I just
and it could be better. It could be so much better. But
it could be better, but it's like, I don't know. Like, it doesn't. Just think about. I think if they had it in a city where there's an airport, right. Think about how much easier it would be to go. Think about how much easier it would be to attend. The fact that you got to what are you going to do? You're going to fly into New York. You're going to fly into Philly. You're going to fly into Trenton, right? And then you got to drive in, right? You're not flying
or take the train or something.
Or take the train or whatever. It's just such a pain in the butt to get there, right?
Right. It is.
I'm on.
Yeah, exactly. And the hard part, I know impressions have looked at that. I have talked to them before, and they're going, where? Is it going to be New York City? No, they'll talk about way more expensive. Boston, not good, not an option. So an East Coast show, it's tough.
Yeah, well, I'm not a logistics expert, but so Atlantic City is the only place you can have it. I doubt that. So, I mean,
yeah.
Anyway, so Cindy says, Marshall, don't say that so loud. Her husband's in the next office.
That's just between you and me, Cindy.
Ray says quality ink prints even better than mediocre ink in a great screen.
Absolutely.
Spoken like an ink salesman.
You know what? But so true, because it's not about the cost of the ink per gallon. It's the cost of the ink on the shirt.
Yeah.
And man, when your yields go so far up, it is just, it just is. Good screen, good coating, good squeegee, flood bar, get a good ink. You're ready to rock.
All right. So Rob says it's a dumpy city. What the hell else are you going to do besides casino action? Plus cold in March, not great for boardwalk activities either. We just drank bourbon in the hotel lobby.
Yeah. The only good thing is there's some pretty awesome restaurants. I didn't do anything Friday night. I packed and all that. I had a great Italian dinner at the Atlantic City Bar and Grill, which is right across from the Courtyard Marriott. Angelo's is incredible. Angelina Two's is amazing. Carmine's on there. But there's a bunch of great
what was
Italian
the name
food.
Of the place we went with Allie and Marge?
Cuba Libre.
Yeah, that was really good.
It was just real good. I've been there before. It's loud, but it is good.
It was loud because we were there.
That's true. Yeah. But a good time.
Yeah. But, I just think, I don't know. You could have it somewhere else.
Yeah. You got the White House subs, which is great. But, that's for us that don't live there, don't live on the East Coast. So, to find real good Italian food in Detroit, not a whole lot.
Yeah.
So.
All right. How are we doing on time? Pretty good. Let's shift into our next topic, which is Q2 starts today. Woo!
Yay! And that's not a joke. It is today.
So April Fool's. Here's the question. How did your Q1, for all you guys watching, how did your Q1 go? Right? Are you happy with that? Did you achieve your goals, whether they're sales goals or activity goals or learning goals or whatever you wanted to do? Did you even set goals? I know, I talked to lots of people. I was talking with this guy yesterday and he didn't set any goals for Q1. Right. I go, well, how'd you do? He's like, well, we could have done better. I'm like, okay, well, it's like what you see is what you get. If you don't put a line in the sand about what you're willing to do and how you're going to reach out and go get it, is it a shocker when you don't achieve more? Mm-hmm. Okay. Now there's some things that happen and maybe you won't hit your goals. What's the Vince Lombardi quote? Excellence is hard. What is it? Excellence is hard to get. I can't remember what it is, but it's like either you go after your goals and perfection is hard to attain, but excellence happens if you miss the mark, right? So,
I like that. Yeah.
Something like that. I don't know. But it's like one of these things, you got to set your goals and go after it and work toward them. Right. Mm-hmm. So Q1's done. You can't change what happened, right? The score is whatever it is. Right? Q2's here, right? So my question for everybody watching is, what are you willing to commit to, right? Mm-hmm. Sales, top line more, and then also bottom line, right? Are you even looking at that, right? How much money do we make? I know a lot of people are posting record sales, Well, guess what? They had price increases. That doesn't mean they're more profitable.
Right.
Okay. So it's like, what are you doing with your learning? What are you doing with new customers? What are you doing with employee retention? Or are you, maybe your goal is to replace a piece of equipment or learn something, right? You've got 3 months, set some goals, right? What are you willing to do, right? So Alan, let's talk about, you don't have to mention what you're doing, but how you set your goals and how you work toward achieving them.
Well, I think the best thing for me as a manufacturer, we have to set goals. I meet with my manager, Alex Mimosa, who is, by the way, on vacation in Florida, crisping right now. So he might be
He looks
listening.
like he would sunburn easy.
He does. He does. But he's
He's
down
the
there.
Red Lobster.
He is the Red Lobster. But he's down there with his family and looks like they're having a great time. But it's pretty easy. An easy way. We look at what we've done, where we are. We have our targets that we want to hit. We did have to, because of price increase, what I hit, what my goal was, I needed to be about 10% more because of it. And I did. I came close. I came like 8% around there, which is fine. This year, of course, it's a lot more. I'm excited. Q1. I'm way ahead of hitting my goal than I was last year at this time. So I'm very excited about that. Things are thriving. I have to keep my eye on the prize because of that goal. What are the key accounts that I need to bring into the fold? Who do I need to hit? How can I help dealers increase? They did a great job. Awesome. One of my old bosses, when I worked for Tech Support Screenprinting Supplies, who is also a dealer of mine too now, we used to let shows every time we had a great sale and stuff. We never let each other get too happy about that. It was so 3 seconds ago, and it is. It doesn't matter what you did in sales,
right?
Enjoy it, take a swig of water, get at it, and we would. It was like, so what have you done for me lately? So no matter what a great year they had, I've got to keep them going. What can we do? There's business out there. What can I do to help?
Yeah.
And how do we hit that? So you have to always be hitting that. It's not even, if we have a new product, that's great. But sometimes it's like, all right, who do we need to call on? Who is I always ask for a wish list. Who's that one nut that is too big to crack on there? Who's that one customer you can't get into? Let's try.
Yeah.
And yeah.
So thanks, Ray, for helping me out with my faulty memory. Perfection is not attainable, but if we chase perfection, we can catch excellence. That's almost what I said.
Kind of, but not as fluently. I also think too, Marshall, when looking at your goals and what you're going to do, I have to look at going, what was I doing spending my time on that had nothing to do with attaining my goals?
Yeah, right.
What are little time wasters? So
exactly, what is in your way, right? And time management is so key, especially in running a company or sales or whatever. It's like we spend a lot of time on non-essential, non-value added things where it's just fluff or busy work or whatever, right? And so if you can like ignore that or push the stuff off or whatever, like I can't tell you like how often I unsubscribe just an email all the time, right? It's just you keep getting stuff. It's like, why am I getting this, right? And just your inbox. And I'm an inbox zero guy, right? So I like nothing in my inbox. And but I only check my email 3 times a day, right? And I'm very prescriptive about how I do it. But it's like one of these things where and I'll just let my email go if I've got big projects, it might be I won't even look at it for a day. And just because you got to like do what you got to do to get the big things done, right? And anyway, so got some comments here. So Josh is here from Oklahoma. Good morning, guys. Good to see you, Josh. Roberto Ciao from Italy.
Ciao.
Nate's here. Best Q1 so far. The industry is thriving. Yes,
it is right now.
Totally agree. Cindy's got to bail. She's got a customer. We'd rather you make money than watch us. So see ya.
But I got to throw the shot in there. That's why you're number 2, Cindy. Ghost would never leave us. No, I'm teasing.
Well, she's not watching. She doesn't know you said that. Ray says perfection is not attainable. Oh yeah, we went that one. Yeah. And also Vince Lombardi, luck happens when preparation meets opportunity.
Oh, that's very good.
I like that one. Look at Ray, all Obi-Wan Kenobi like.
Yep.
He knows sports quotes. I do. Right.
He forgot the R in it, but that's okay.
Tyler's here, represent Ohio.
Hey, Tyler, how you doing?
And Davis says you guys are looking younger in that lighting.
Thank you.
So, well, normally we look older. Yeah,
I feel older. It's the lighting. So
yeah, it is the lighting.
Yeah.
Or maybe I just got my gallon of coffee in me. I don't know. So anyway, so Q2, I think it's really important that everybody really kind of write down your goals, make them visible. Okay. Yep. What are you willing to do? What are you willing to commit to? You know, like I was talking with a guy yesterday or 2 days ago about, you know, sales calls. And I go, your process has to be consistent, right? Yeah. So are you willing to make 1 sales call a day or 5 sales calls a day? What are you willing to do every day? And then when are you going to do it? And then who are you going to call? And what should that look like? And then what's the follow-up after the call? Like, build your process out so you have the result that you want. Otherwise, it's just the quarter will be over and here's what our sales are. And, you know, so I think it's important that you kind of like look at that stuff. So Charlie says, hi guys, good to see you in Atlantic City. Yes, Charlie, appreciate you. And I love that picture.
The cool factor. Charlie always has the cool factor going.
It's those round glasses.
I know. It's awesome. I think too, Marshall, and goals too, that if you're not watching what you're doing in Q1 and there's a problem and you don't catch it to Q2, well, that means Q2 is done. You can fix it. It'll be Q3 before you get it usually. So you really got to keep watching them and stay on top of everything.
Well, you know, you can't manage what you don't measure, right? So are you measuring? Are you graphing? Are you looking at it? You know, I have I know it's going to shock you, Alan. I have a spreadsheet, right?
And I know you don't like spreadsheets.
All of my stuff is on there and it's graphed, right? The reason I like a graph is because it's a wall of numbers. It's like, what does that really mean? But when I see, you know, I use a bar graph for sales, right? So if I see that I'm ahead or whatever, I'm like, that really excites me. But if I'm almost to my goal, right, man, that really makes me want to do more.
Oh, right? Absolutely. Yeah.
So.
Yeah, absolutely.
Charlie Public starring in Mad Max 4 later this year. Thanks, Ray.
If you wonder why we always talk about the people we see at shows, this is why, because of all this stuff. Imagine it live with all of us together. It's hilarious.
Yeah. Richard says, I thought Mont Granberry was our #1 fan from Texas. Well, make that #2.
No, actually, Mr. Granberry, see this little thing up here? Sponsored by GSG. There's no numbers so high to say where he's at. So there was my suck up for the day. And
Richard says Philly is too expensive.
For shows, for some reason, every time they've done a show at Philly, it doesn't attend well. I don't know why. I don't know that it's any more expensive. But I also remember, man, in my younger career, there was a show in Philly and it was amazing all the time. I forget who put it on. I don't know if it was a printwear show or an impression show, but it was incredible.
Well, just think if they had a show somewhere in New England where you could land a plane.
But now we're talking New England, so I mean,
well, Atlantic City I consider as New England.
Yeah, I mean, Hartford,
whatever, up there.
I mean, now we're kind of there. I don't think Providence, Rhode Island is it, or
whatever.
Boston,
I don't care. It's like it doesn't have an airport where an actual airline flies into. That would be the consideration that I would like them to use.
Right.
So anyway, we got, and then Charlie says Impressionist did one many years ago.
It was, and I remember there was someone else did one a few years ago. I was with tech support, and it was terrible. It just wasn't. I don't know why.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah.
All right.
When I say terrible, just no attendance. So yeah,
we're stuck with Atlantic City. So
for a while. So
it is what it is.
I know Russ from Impression said he's up for suggestions. Let him know.
Well, maybe we'll do a poll.
Scranton, Pennsylvania. Here we go.
Oh, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do a type form poll. Okay. And next week I'll share that. Where should the trade show in that area be? And everybody can vote.
And every time on an East Coast one, I mean, Baltimore was a bust. Philadelphia was a bust. Atlantic City, because I know why they wanted it in the area. When you look at New England, the amount of people and the amount of printers there, it should pull. And in the pre-pandemic, it did. Everywhere from New England, everywhere from the East Coast, everywhere from Mid-Atlantic. Yeah, I don't know. And I think we're I just saw what a race. I think a lot of
Tampa, man.
Yeah,
I gotta tell you, I love that Tampa show back. This is dating me. That
way
was
back.
the King show. Is that Tampa show? This is before Long
huge.
Beach.
Oh yeah,
that was the biggest show, and it was always the best. We had Ybor City. We had you could go to the Columbia. You could go to Burn Steakhouse. I mean, come on.
I love the Columbia.
Let's do one in Tampa.
I've been to the Columbia, not in Tampa. I was at the Columbia in St. Augustine. Great sangria.
Well, the one in Tampa is in Ybor City is the Mac Daddy. Let me tell you.
Yep.
There you go. Should probably ask why Long Beach is the Mac Daddy and so many shows by the same organization so much. I think we're going to see a big shift in apparel shows with Printing United being more in tune as compared to years past.
Well, that's
we'll
something.
See if they actually have it this year.
Printing United, yeah.
Well, I mean, they're supposed to have it. Well,
it's in Vegas, which is always a better turnout. They do, they seem to be turning a corner on the apparel, a little bit. But I've kind of seen this before, and I hate to be the jaded old man there. And I know Josh there and all of them on there are really pushing it. But I guess, we've been smacked down by Printing United and SGI and all that for so long. I hope, it would be good.
Well, I'm going to Printing United. I'll be there.
I'll go. I'm going.
Right.
If they have it, I'm going to go.
Actually, we've got some super secret things that might be happening.
Yeah, and that would be awesome. I mean, they've talked to us more super secret things. We're teasing again, Rob. But it would be fun. And I think they have a group of people starting to think outside the box and what can we do to change? The apparel industry isn't like it was back in the 90s.
Right.
And so, I guess better late than never. And I think everybody's like, we're all there. We're all having to change. We're all having to think. I mean, Marshall, 2 years ago, I never thought I'd be doing this every week. We did not mention it last week, our 100th episode.
I know, because I don't know why. We were too busy having fun.
Because we're still horrible at this after 100 episodes.
Oh, that's right. Do we know what we're doing yet?
More than we did before, but not as much. Yeah.
Well, maybe by our 200th show, we'll have this figured out.
Yeah. So, things change, and I don't know that podcasts are the end all beat all, but I mean, it just shows that we've got to be more relevant. We got to start thinking outside of the box. I think the shows have to start doing that because it's not magazine driven like they all were. It is basically
they used to have the magazine had a show. Now it's the show has a magazine.
And nobody cares about the magazine.
Yeah. So it's flip-flopped. So
I like what Rob just said.
Hold on. Where are we here? Let's throw.
Actually, let's go all the way back up. Rob said, "Don't drop your Rolling Rock."
Yeah. Rob says, they will. Rob Coleman. Love to see a show go to Austin. NBM did once and never went back. I'd love to go to Austin. That's
never
one of
been
the
to
cities
Austin.
I haven't been to and like to go.
I've never been. I'd love to
I
go.
almost
Yeah.
went to South by Southwest this year, but I was busy. So Rob says trade shows are so expensive for vendors, hard to get ROI in many cases, especially if the market primarily and not sell. Some exhibitors do not sell at shows. We better taking their money and spend and bring prospects in their own facility. Yes, I've heard that from numerous people.
And we were just talking about that, Rob. I think you and I did. For a company like EasyWay, for what it cost on a small booth for a crew there, a minimal crew to do that, the money for those weeks, we lost Marshall. Oh my gosh. I just lost Marshall. Anyways, the money that is used.
Hey, I hit the wrong button.
I kept going. I'm like, oh my gosh. The money it takes, just so you guys know, on vendors like that to do a show, that pays for one sales guy like me travel budget for the year. So they got it. Companies are looking to go just like you should be. And it's a good segue into our next subject. On cash flow, where's it better spent? I know GSG looks at that. NASDAQ looks at that. EasyWay looks at that. Everybody you see there that you want at these shows have to look at that. So when a NASDAQ, M&R pulls out, a Rock pulls out, someone pulls out, they're not doing that, without thought.
Right.
They know there's going to be disappointment, but yeah, there's a lot of balls in the air when you're a vendor doing that.
Well,
and the expense is a lot.
Let's think about the trade shows, right? They're so difficult to have a booth. I mean, a table is $400. It's $150 to have a trash can, right?
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Is there a reason why people don't want to go? I mean, an exhibit, it's like you make it so difficult, right? Oh, you want internet in your booth? Here, sign this, take out a loan.
Yeah.
It's just crazy, Anyway, so let's throw some comments, and I want to get to the last topic before we run out of time. So Josh says 42 shows past Alan's blog due date. I think you mean podcast.
And I actually think it's like 42 years.
We need it back in Atlanta. Atlanta would be a great place to have a trade show. World Congress Center, come on.
They used to have, Pretty United was always in Atlanta. I thought it was well attended. I guess it wasn't. Some people didn't like it. Was there a show in Atlanta? I thought a Bobbin show used to be there, but I don't know.
And Simon says, morning, guys. Sorry, but on the phone all morning. Quick off-topic PSA. If you have a voicemail, delete your bloody messages. Had 3 this morning whose voicemail box were full. Get in the game, people. Learn how to use communication.
Oh, agreed.
I hate that.
Agreed. How about there's no message, just a phone number? Put a message on there. Agreed,
how about
Simon?
the people who don't put their information in their email signature, and now you got to look it up? That's even worse.
All right, let's talk about this in a show. How about you have a business card, yes, and it doesn't have an address or it has an email, but nothing else. No phone number, no address, nothing.
Or how about attending a trade show and not bringing business cards?
Oh, we've had that before. Absolutely. This is business, people. Come on.
Good.
There are multiple forms of communication.
When they pull out, many times there's no refund.
Oh, absolutely. There's not. So, yeah.
Simon says, we'll be in a Fort Worth show. First time in 2.5 years. Great. See you there.
All right. The world is back to normal. Simon's at a show. It's always a good time then.
Mike says, trade show extras, drayage to get your boxes to your booth.
Oh, outrageous. Then the unions.
Rob says ISA. And what is ISA?
It's a signage. It's a sign show, if I remember right.
Not textile, but still.
Yeah.
Get off my lawn. Exactly. I got a card without a name on it. Hey, by the way, I did an experiment. I got a dot for my phone to try it out at the Atlantic City Trade Show, and it worked phenomenally, by the way. So this is $20 RFID technology. You just put somebody's phone on that, and now they have all your information. Don't even need to get them a card.
And we heard that the first person I ever saw had that was Nick Woods from Graphic Source.
That's where I saw it. I think Frank Good has one too. Don't you, Frank? Don't you have a dot? So
and he says, thank you, Nick Wood.
All right, there you go.
I think Nick gets commission on it.
Hey, let's get our last topic in. Let's squeeze it in.
Yeah. Cash
You
flow.
kind of alluded to it in a minute. And here's the thing that we want to kind of focus on is the fact that a lot of people are really busy right now. Okay. And why do businesses go out of business when they're busy? It's because they run out of money. Right. And so you're just super slammed with stuff. But guess what? You're so busy, you've maxed out all your credit and you can't afford to buy shirts or ink or whatever until somebody else pays you. This is why you need to be getting all your money up front if you haven't done that already. Right. And because now you've got all the money to do what you need to do to pay your people and buy the shirts and buy the supplies. Mm-hmm. So if you're still operating in the old way, which is net 30 or 50-50 or whatever, you need to rethink that strategy because cash flow is king. You need the money to operate, and this is going to allow you to grow faster. So you need to rethink that strategy. And because of COVID, you've got the greatest boogeyman to blame it on ever to adopt that because, and I'll say it, and we said it before, you are not a bank.
Yep, absolutely.
Let Visa take care of it, right?
Yep.
You just take the credit card and you're done. You've been paid, right? Oh, you take that 3.5% or whatever your credit card charges and roll it into your price and not worry about it, not think about it twice.
Yep, absolutely. I think too, cash flow, like you said, COVID, the companies that are still around had cash. And personally, we need to start looking because we don't know what'll happen. The world's an uncertain place right now and will be forever, I think. Yep. We don't know what'll happen. We're looking at things. Things have kind of calmed down. There is the weirdness in the globe right now, but we don't know what what will happen supply chain wise, recession wise, stuff like that. And you better have cash. I see people that are cash heavy and they are buying equipment full out. That's fine if you can do that, but you need to think about a financer, someone that can do that and keep your cash. Cash is king.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I hear you. So I was on the Mark Kudre's Catalyst call on Thursday as well. Richard was on that call, mm-hmm. right? And one of the things that Mark talks about all the time is brake lights on the freeway, right? So if you see ahead, you see everybody with their brake lights on, you know there's something coming up. So right now, what are the brake lights that we need to be looking at, right? You got the war in Ukraine, you got supply issues, you still can't find enough people to drive a truck, right? So we've got shipping and freight issues. You know, we still have issues with inventory, with different things, right? And so everybody's really super busy right now, but what's it going to be like in September?
Who knows?
Who knows? So this is why I think if you really adopt a profit first, cash up front kind of a strategy for your business, you're going to be more financially solvent. You'll be better, stronger, and you'll be able to withstand some of this stuff, right? And maybe it won't happen. Who knows? I don't know. But I think you really need to be looking at with your business, right? So,
well, to say maybe it won't happen, maybe it won't. But there are cycles in business and cycles in world economy that just happen anyways. So eventually it will happen because there are cycles and you've got to be prepared on there. We've got to be prepared.
Rates are going up, right?
Yep.
Just look at the leading indicators to recessions, right?
Yep.
We're right there.
Oh,
right?
absolutely.
Not saying it's going to happen, but come on, right?
Yep. So you got to look at it from your business. You got to look at it personally.
Right. So we got some comments. Alex says, I dislike the dot because I can only have one of each link on it. Have one, but dislike. Right. Well, put 2 dots on your phone. I don't know.
I would think. See, there's my boss. I told you he was probably lurking. Alex, are you sunburned to death? I wonder. Yeah. So see, there's the picture of him and his family there at in Florida. So a badly needed vacation with his family.
Aloe. That's what you need.
Aloe vera.
Aloe. Okay.
And as much as I say Alex is lurking and all that, there's a guy that needed a vacation. He is one of the hardest workers I've ever met. So
yeah. Ray says cash flow is king.
Absolutely.
You beat me to it. Charlie says you need to get at least the cost of goods down as a down payment.
At least.
Ray says I found that most places don't really know their costs. One of my favorite Marshall articles addresses it. Exactly.
Agreed.
Thank you, Ray.
Yeah.
And nobody knows what it costs to print. And like if you ask most shops, you go, what's it cost to print? They're thinking ink.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. And what you hear all the time is, I don't know, 25 cents.
Like, I don't know. And then throw out a number. Yeah.
So what is your average cost per imprint? Right. And it's not that difficult to find out. Right. So March, just look at March. Right. So how many impressions did you print? That's the unit of work. Mm-hmm. An impression to me is a decoration event. 100-piece order, front and back is 200 impressions. How many impressions did you print? Every single dollar you spent. How much was that? Right now, let's take out your cost of goods for the shirts. You're just talking about your overhead and labor and everything, because you're going to mark up your shirts differently. But how much did it cost you to print? Divide that to, that's your average cost per imprint for March. It's going to vary every month. Okay. So if you printed 1,000 things and it cost you $1,000, your cost per imprint was what? It's $1. So if you print 1,000 things and your cost per imprint is if you print 2,000 things and your cost per imprint was $1,000, it's 50 cents, right? So how can you get more through the pipe with the same cost, right? That's called efficiency.
Yep.
Yeah. And Ray says they always forget overhead. Yeah, right. And so it's not just your mortgage or your rent. It's your dumpster fee. It's you bought a mop at Home Depot. Mm-hmm. It's your Google AdWords. It's your marketing. It's every, magic markers and razor blades and Band-Aids, whatever. It's everything that you spend, right? So, whoo.
Well, Mark, and we were talking earlier before the show about this too, Marshall, of people, we were talking about one supply chain and just stuff in the world that we're a little bit worried about. But, everybody's worried about the cost of ink going up. But still, we still see people with crappy screens. And when you have a crappy screen, you're going to double hit. You're going to use more ink. Right. And it's like, I don't want to hear about your cash flow and your cost issues if you're going to continue to just flush money away.
Yeah, well, it's, the cost of ink is going up, but you're still double hitting your underbase.
Yeah.
It's like everybody bitching about the cost of gasoline, but they drive a truck that only gets 11 miles a gallon.
America.
Yeah. Okay, well, that's the reason why you're having this issue, right? So, whatever. It's like there's other things that you can be doing. You just choose not to do them.
There was, I think of a shop that we use 110 on everything. And then they complain about the cost of ink. It's like, whatever.
Complain about the cost of ink, and they complain about how thick their prints are probably too.
Yeah. This is the company that goes into the file that I have of, in business in spite of themselves. 110, to quote the great Jeff Proctor, 110, the Model A of screen mesh. So, yeah.
You could have any color car you want as long as it's black.
Exactly.
Right.
Unreal.
So William says, I take all of my expenses from the Schedule C and subtract garments and divide that by the number of days I want to work a year and get my per day cost. Awesome. Simon says, can't I pull my 16,000 pound fifth wheel with a Prius? Exactly.
2 Priuses.
That's right.
It's
gas prices don't affect me. I only pump $10 worth of that.
Absolutely. Oh, you have $10? Oh, great. He's better than I am.
Hey, Ghost is here.
He's there. Yay.
Do you put your stepbrother's salary in your overhead? You have to pay him every day anyway.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Ghost, I'm glad you're there. I don't know if you heard earlier, you weren't there. We were worried. We were going to call the Sweden police to do a health check on you. So.
All right. Well, cool. I think we're out of time.
Cindy, see, Ghosta, #1 fan right there. 4 a.m. there.
Right. So anyway, so thank you so much for hanging out with us today. Just a last minute plug. Please check out shirtlabsummit.com. Lots of really great information there for you. It's free, right? And you should be watching these videos. And then also we're having a happy hour tonight on Zoom at groups.shirtlabsummit.com. And the password is shirtlab, all undercase. We'd love to see you there. And
what time is that?
A lemonade or a glass of beer or a whiskey or whatever you like. So,
and what time is that, Marshall?
8 o'clock Eastern.
All right.
So
I may stop by.
It's going to be fun, and we'll be talking about the videos, but we'll also just be hanging out, networking, and whatever. And there you go. So. All right, everyone. Have a really fantastic weekend. Quick, do you think Krzyzewski wins tomorrow or not?
You know what? I don't know. He's gone to the Final Four, so he's been there before.
I think his destiny is to win it all and go out
and then go out of blaze of glory.
There's a rainbow coming out of his butt. I think that's what's going to happen.
I think that'll be it. I'd love to see the Jayhawks win. But we'll see what happens.
I don't know. So
Hey, 101 shows. Thank you everybody for listening. We don't do this without you. GSG, been great.
We love you, GSG.
We do. We love it. And man, I know we alluded to some things coming up when they're etched in stone. Can't wait to talk about it.
All right. You guys take care. Have a great weekend.
Be safe this weekend.
Bye.